She pointed at his chest with a trembling finger, her voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "Take that off," she snapped. "You don't get to wear that uniform here." The young man stood still, not flinching, not speaking. Dust from the parking lot blew around his boots, clinging to the fabric of his camouflage pants. His face was calm, but his eyes told a different story. Tired, heavy, haunted. People paused, half turning to look, unsure whether to step in or step back. A line had formed outside the small-town diner, but now all eyes were on her. Rachel Morgan, the waitress with fire in her voice. And him, the stranger with a name she hadn't yet noticed. The air hung thick with heat. And something heavier. Shame? Pride? Maybe both. Thought he looked down at the patch sewn neatly onto his chest, over his heart. A simple label. Faded olive green letters. A last name. Morgan. Her breath caught. She blinked once, hard. Then again. No, it couldn't be. That was her name. And suddenly, her legs didn't feel so steady anymore. Rachel hadn't always been angry. But when you grow up with a folded flag in a wooden triangle and a mother who stopped singing after the funeral, the world starts to look different. Her father had died overseas. She was 12. He was a staff sergeant who never missed her birthday. Until one year. He just didn't come home. She remembered how proud he was of his uniform. How he'd ironed it even on weekends. How he smiled when he wore it. That smile had vanished the day he left, and she'd buried that version of him deep. Oh, when another soldier walked in today, head held high in the same colors, something inside her had cracked wide open, until she saw that name. Now she was staring at it, frozen. The young man slowly reached into his back pocket, pulling out a folded paper. Not a word, just hands that trembled slightly as he held it out. Rachel took it with fingers she could barely feel. The page was old, creased, and torn at the edges. Her eyes scanned the top line first. "To my unborn son, if I don't come back." Her breath hitched. She read it once. Then twice. By the third time, her knees gave way, and she collapsed onto the curb. The soldier knelt beside her, not touching, just there. Still quiet. Still grounded. And as she looked up, really looked at him, she saw it, his eyes. Just like her father's. Deep brown, soft around the corners, but carrying something no young man should have to carry. He didn't need to speak. His silence was the story. Her father hadn't made it back. But he'd left behind more than just grief. He left this boy, this brother she never knew. She had. A customer nearby whispered, "Is that her family?" Another gasped. A third man, older, removed his baseball cap and placed it against his chest. Slowly, like a ripple across still water, the sidewalk filled with silence. People rose. Some placed their hands over their hearts. Others simply watched, unsure what to do, but knowing they were witnessing something that mattered. Rachel stood again, face wet with tears. She reached forward and, this time, placed her hand on his name. "You keep it on," she whispered. "You earned it more than I ever understood." Some truths arrive not as thunder, but as whispers, delivered on creased paper in the hands of silent heroes. And in that moment, there were no uniforms, no waitress, no soldier, just family, broken and rebuilt in a blink. Silent dignity speaks louder than the loudest protest. Some carry wounds on their skin. Others carry names over their hearts. He didn't need to prove his worth. His silence already had. Later that day, a framed photo was added to the diner wall. Not of a war or a uniform, but of two strangers turned siblings, sitting on the curb, holding the same letter, under the same sky. Because sometimes the real battlefield is grief. And sometimes, the ones who survive it find each other. Without ever saying a word, if this story touched your heart, tell us where you're watching from. Have you ever met a silent hero in your life? Share their story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more real, powerful moments that remind us what honor truly means.